Welcome to Real Mark Learning Academy. My name is Mary Ndundi. I'm a fashion designer and an instructor. In this lesson, we're going to be learning how to draw a croquis. So the question is, what is a croquis? A croquis is a flat representation of the human figure on a plain paper. In that way, you are able to identify the proportion of the human figure. Hence, this will help you subsequently while drafting or while preparing your patterns to really get every detail that is required on your pattern pieces. So in drawing the croquis, we'll need a paper, we'll need a pencil, you would also be needing a ruler. So right now, let's dive into drawing the croquis. So simply go on to divide your paper into 2 equal parts. Draw a vertical line to have your paper divided into 2. Thereafter, we're going to divide the paper into 9 parts, alright? Having 1 space at the top and space at the down part. So let's go on to do that, alright? So simply take your tape or your ruler and measure 1 inch, alright? From the top of the paper, go on to measure 1 inch down. That will be what will help us in sharing the paper into 9 equal parts. Alright, so just measure 1 inch down, take 1 inch, alright? Now this is what it looks like. Having done that, you're going to go on to draw a straight line. So let's draw out the straight line, which will help demarcate each of the lines. So now that we're done demarcating each of the lines, we have 1, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So on each of these parts, we'll be having the 9 heads. Alright, so let's start. We'll start by drawing first of all on the first part of the demarcation, the head. Alright, so just draw a circle of about just do a circle of 3/8 inch wide. Alright, so this forms the head, 3/4 inch wide. Circle of 3/4 inch wide forms the head. So you can see my tape, this is 3/4. Alright, thereafter you go on to create the neckline. Just come down a bit and then you take the width of the shoulder. The width of the shoulder is twice the width of the head. So from this line, that's the balance line, just come out by the same width as the head on the left hand side and do the same thing on the right hand side. Thereafter, you connect a slant line to meet the shoulder. Alright, you can just do a circle so as to indicate the neckline. Alright, next is the waistline. We're then going to go on to the waistline. So the width of the waistline is the same width as the head. Alright, so on the waistline, remember this is the head, this is the bust line, that is the bust apex. Okay, so this is the apex of the bust apex. And right here, the third line is the waistline. Take note of all this. The third line is the waistline. So I'm just going to go to the third line, being the waistline, and take the same width as I have on my head. Alright, so simply take the same width as the head. So you can see 3/4 inch. Then having done that, you go on to connect to the shoulder. You want to connect the waist to the shoulder. So this is what it looks like. Next is the hip line. So the hip line, the width of the hip line is same as that of the shoulder. So by getting the hip line, you can simply come here and measure the width of the shoulder and replicate it on the hip line. So this line 4 is the hip line. So I'm just going to replicate the width of the shoulder on the hip line. So then you draw a line that is a straight line connecting to the hip. From the waist to the hip. Having done that, simply blend with a curve. Simply blend with a curve because the human figure is quite curvy. All right. Next, we are going to the crotch. The crotch is slightly below the hip line. So just come down slightly below the hip line, and that gives you your crotch. And next is the thigh. The fifth line is the thigh line. The fifth line is the thigh, and the sixth is the knee. All right. So on the knee line, from your balance line, that's the midline, simply take a circle. Draw a circle, a small circle on both sides of the line. So connect from the hip line to the knee line. So you can see, and then from the crotch line to the knee line. All right, so you're connecting from the crotch line to the circle. So you do the same thing on the other side of the circle. All right, so by that you can see we have been able to get to half point. We have been able to get to half point of the figure. All right, so moving on, we're going to go on to get the ankle. So simply come to line 8. Line 7 is the calf. So line 7 is the calf. Then line 8 is the ankle. Simply come to the ankle line and do a small circle. So you can see. So you can see I have a small circle. So that represents the ankle. All right. So connect from the knee line to the ankle. Simply connect from the knee line to the ankle. All right. And thereafter, you do the same thing on the other side. All right. So right now, I'm done with the upper part of the body, full body. Thereafter, it's left with the foot. So you're going to go on to connect the foot this way. So just draw out your line, and then you connect. All right, so lastly we're going to go on to drawing the sleeve. All right, the arm. So on the waistline you also have the elbow. So I'm just going to write on the waistline you also have the elbow. All right, so the elbow is positioned on the waistline. So just do a small circle on the waistline and connect from the shoulder. Do a small circle beside the waist on the waistline, then connect from the shoulder to the circle. All right, and then from below, slightly below the bust point, from the bust line to the circle. All right, so below the bust line is the bust curve. So you can see, just do a curve slightly below the bust line. That will tell you where the bust ends. Just do a slight curve below the bust line. That's to give you the illusion of the bust. That's the bust effect. All right. So then you move on to the hip line and draw a small circle. And this circle represents the wrist line. All right. Then connect from the elbow to the wrist. All right. And then the thigh is the point where you have the finger ends. So the finger, the hand, that is the finger, will end at the thigh. So just from the elbow, just come out slightly and then end at the thigh. All right. So this is just a framework of what the female figure looks like. So you come to this side and do repeat the same thing. Draw a small circle to represent the elbow. Then you connect from the shoulder to the elbow and from the side seam to the elbow. Thereafter, you come and do a small circle around the hip line. Then you connect. This represents the wrist part of the wrist bone. All right. Then you draw the arm, the hand. All right. So this represents the finger. So the finger ends at the thigh. So the finger ends at the thigh. So this is what the female figure looks like. So if you go through it, you would understand that it is proportionate. So you have the shoulder line, you have the bust line, you have the waistline, you have the hip line, which is same as your wrist, you have the thigh, which is same as where your finger ends, and thereafter you have all the lines. So do well to try it out and see what the outcome looks like, and don't forget to tap the notification buttons, like, share and subscribe. Bye.